Sergeant Fantasy Football Talk back again. You know what it is. I'm Rodney. It's Jay. What's going on, bro?
Hey, what's up? Nothing much happening. We got week one in the books. I'm ready to talk about it.
Let's talk about it. You know how it is, man, but you know how we do. We got to jump into news first because,
Of
we
course.
got to talk some news, people. I mean, this first piece of news, it's going to make me a little excited. I kind of
Oh.
expected this anyway. I knew this was going to happen from day one. I don't know why they gave my opportunity because nobody else would have got it. But we're going to jump right into it. And the Jags cut Tim Tebow. What a surprise.
Shocking.
Shocking news, I tell you. I mean, the man can't block, he can't catch. I mean, what was he even there for? For a free check? Talk to me.
Hey, well, we said the odds of him making the team were slim to none. Did you see the block that he threw out, or the hold up,
Terrible.
the
The-
block
the-
that he threw out? I was like, yo, you can't be playing tight end and blocking like a quarterback because that was just pitiful.
That's what
And he had no shot. Like we said from the beginning, a legitimate tight end could have been in that spot and at least had a chance at making a team. But it all ends like it should have. But early,
I
I
mean,
honestly thought he was going to be on the team at least to the second week before they cut him. But yeah,
no. I mean, I was reading some stuff that a lot of the time he was the sixth best tight end in camp.
yeah,
And six tight ends ain't making that team, first of all. Only maybe a good two tight ends is making that team.
right,
So for him to be the one of the worst tight ends on that team, we are see, I thought they were gonna use him as like a Taysom Hill type player, gadget,
right, yeah,
goal line type player, but I guess he just didn't cut it. As they would say, he looked physique. He looked like was an NFL. Okay, can he catch and block? Which is probably no. So no, not good for me. Um, then this is some exciting news. This is good news. This is really, really good news for the league in itself. Um, the Falcons are the first team to reach 100% vaccination,
great
which is
news.
great. That is great news. Every team really should be 100% vaccinated just to so they
Agree.
won't. The thing about it, man, people don't understand is this: if your player is not vaccinated, they can miss up to 2 games, 10 days. If you're thinking about it, um, you stand on losing a star player or one of your best fantasy players for 2 weeks because they don't want to get vaccinated.
Right.
I mean, if it was a regular job and they asked you to do it, you'd do it. But you just get paid millions of
It
dollars
is their
and you
regular
have
job.
options.
It's just,
Well, you know what I mean.
but yeah, but I feel you. But it's just like, yo, at some point, like at my job, it's sort of expected, and we're not even back at work.
Hmm.
But it's well, we're not in mass. Some people are back,
Yeah.
but it's expected that you're going to either one, um, be vaccinated, and you have to, and they're asking us to all report. But two, if you're not vaccinated, you have to show up every day with your negative COVID test, which is the same thing the NFL is doing. So it's like
Exactly.
I'm not understanding what the issue is or how people feel they're being violated. I mean, take care of your responsibilities.
I mean, you can go in so many directions with that, but we're just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, but
I want to just
way
give
to go, Falcons. They may not win a
exactly.
game, but they are 100% vaccinated. So there you go.
I applaud them for that. And this one,
Uh,
going back to this team again.
oh,
Urban Myers.
okay.
I don't know if
Okay.
this is really any news, but it's news, so we got to report it. It doesn't make sense for me. He says a quarterback competition.
That isn't.
I don't believe it.
Yeah.
I think he's just doing that just to be. I, I feel like he's trying to bring that college style into the NFL, and that stuff doesn't work. I mean, we already know a number of coaches who tried to do that, bring college style in the NFL. Steve Spurrier, one of them.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't last long. Even the great Alabama quarterback, he quit halfway through the
Oh, Nick
season.
Saban,
Nick Saban.
their
So
coach.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I just think this is more of a college move than an NFL move.
I think what he's trying to do is set some sort of tone, like you said, that hey, anybody can uh, be replaced. It's you got to be ready. Blah 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 blah. But nobody, and I mean nobody, is buying the fact that Gardner Minshew is not starting at quarterback. So for fantasy players, draft Trevor Lawrence. Don't even think about Gardner Minshew, who looked bad. I mean, Trevor didn't look great either, but the fact that this is what Gardner Minshew's third year,
season.
fourth, I can't remember, third season, and he
Mm-hmm.
looked terrible.
Yeah.
So no, there's no controversy. Welcome Nita to the show, and welcome Shaq. Good to have you.
What's going on, Shaq? Hey, Nita, how you doing?
How about them Bucks?
And
What else you got for your news?
got great Andy Dalton. You heard me say great, right? He said it's my time.
Yeah.
Right now.
Okay.
Justin Fields can wait. I think that's a little crazy, personally, for you to come out and say that. Even though I think Justin Fields is gonna start day one, he's gonna take the job from you. I think that's, how can I put this? I think he's being sour grapes because he knows it's coming.
He's done.
He's done,
Right.
and he don't want to. He don't want to. He's not really realizing that it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. He just needs to say, you know what? I might as well be a backup and make my $10 million. I mean, at that point, because that's what he's getting. He's getting $10 million to be a backup. Take your money and be quiet. I mean,
what's this, like year 10, 11 or something for Andy Dalton? He said, this is my time. Like, dude, your time was like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Back, when you had the Ocho Cinco's still in the league and the Husman Zadas of the world. That was your moment. This ain't you.
Well, you know what I think?
Yo.
And I don't know if this pertains to it, but you remember the movie Any Given Sunday where
Right.
they had Jamie Foxx and he was the backup, and then they had the other dude, he was a white quarterback, and the wife was at home saying, you got to get this job. You got to be yours. His wife was probably telling him at home, you better come back and start. But it's not going to happen for him, though. So.
What did we say about the controversy in Jacksonville? Just loop back that whole tape back because there's no controversy.
There's no controversy.
The only controversy is which week will Justin Fields take over. We both think it should be week one. We're talking about preseason games coming up in just a few, but it needs to be week one. And Matt Nagy, your job is on the line. Stop playing. You ain't gonna be able to feed your kids when you unemployed. Look, stop playing.
It's gonna be too late to bring him in week 6, and your job gonna be gone already.
You already gone, exactly.
Already gone.
You better as early as possible.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I agree. And my last bit of news is Antonio Gibson. They saying they're gonna use him like Christian McCaffrey, and I truly believe that.
You said it. Bold predictions just last week.
So I mean, I think they're gonna use him like that. I'm high on Antonio Gibson. I think he's gonna be a big time player this year. So I can respect that. So, and that's coming from coaching staff. So we're gonna see how they do it.
Yeah, I see Shaq's comment. He likes Andy Dalton's attitude. I'm gonna skip over the champs part, but he likes his attitude. Don't just give up. For Andy Dalton, he's saying what he needs to say, but then there's reality. And I mean, I expect Andy Dalton to think he's gonna get the job, but everybody knows he ain't got that job. That is Justin Fields' job. They already taken his nameplate out the parking space. Like, no longer reserved for Andy Dalton.
Hey, you know what it is.
Parking the back with everybody else.
That job was gone when they drafted Justin Fields. I mean, it was gone. So, you got any news?
I got a couple of stories. I'm going to start with the fun story, a little bit of lightness. The Patriots and the Eagles are playing each other. I need my pops watching right now so he can let me know about this one. And apparently Bill Belichick was telling Zach Ertz, hey, I'm gonna get you on this team at some point still. And we've been talking Zach Ertz getting traded like since last year ended. Maybe even before then. I don't understand why Zach Ertz is on the team. And I actually like the Patriots for him. but
Yeah.
they already brought in Jonnu Smith. They brought in Hunter Henry, who's already hurt. So I don't think anything's happening with it. I think it was just two guys that like each other, making small talk that just got into
Yeah.
the news. But the other story, and I'm surprised it didn't come up. We've been talking about it ever since. Deshaun Watson. Now they're
Yeah.
releasing that the FBI is investigating, which sounds awful, and it is awful. But there could be, if you're looking for the bright side, they're looking into the possibility of this being some sort of extortion attempt. And so, if they can prove that this is just someone's attempt to get money from him, maybe he plays this year. But the negative is, I don't think it's gonna be like the FBI went in today and they fixed it by next week. I think it's still a very long process for me. So for me, Deshaun Watson is still untouchable to this because I don't think the NFL is gonna step in for real until everything is done, and this could take a minute.
The thing I take away from that is the extortion part. Yeah. They're saying that one of the girls was extorting him. Right. But I think they also said that the lawyer, which I have been saying this for a long time, I find it weird that one lawyer is representing all 22 girls. And my thing is this, first of all, how did you find all 22 girls? It's no way they all just came to you and said, hey, he did this to me, and I want you to represent me. It don't happen that way. They're trying to say that he actually put something out on Facebook or something, and they saying that he lured the girls to him. That way he could represent all of them, which, if that's the case, then this case may be thrown out because he's trying to extort that man for money, and we all know that's crazy. Come on now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But
we'll see.
We'll see.
I see Shaq says there's a controversy in San Francisco. I'm not sure what the controversy is. You tell me.
I don't think it's a controversy. Trey Lanks should be the starter from day one. Jimmy G to me, is not that. Right now, at this point, he's probably a backup at this point. I mean, if you watch the game on Saturday, you can see the difference in the two quarterback style. Jimmy's going to dink and dunk. He's going to throw it down the field.
That's who he is.
That's who he is. That's what he does. Trey Lanks is going to actually throw it down the field. In this stat, they said that Jimmy had one pass over 40 yards last year. Trey Lanks had that in a preseason game. So that tells you something. So I don't think it's a quarterback controversy. I think Trey Lanks should start, and that was on my bold predictions last week. So
I agree that Trey Lance should start. I think of all the guys we're talking about, he's probably the least likely I think right now is Mac Jones. But I think Trey Lance is probably not going to start week one. Though for me, I'm with you. I don't know why you stalled, but I saw people say that they don't know if he's ready. I'm like, he's ready enough.
He's ready enough.
Yeah, and quite frankly, it's sort of back. Let's go way back it's not way back. Let's go. You're a 49ers fan. You remember a guy named Alex Smith, and then a guy named Colin Kaepernick coming behind him, and it's like, look, it's just a matter of time before it happens. It's pretty obvious you're gonna go throughout the most upside. Jimmy G has very little upside. He's a system guy who's always hurt. So stop playing.
The thing about it, and I'm not gonna drag on about this, but I just want to say this: the public is putting out like he's. And I had two scenarios. Okay. I think they're hyping him to get traded. That's why they're not talking
Jimmy
bad
G
about
to get traded.
Yes. Okay. And then the thing is, they don't talk bad about Jimmy, what he's doing in practice. As a 49ers fan, I read this stuff every day. And he's throwing interceptions, multiple interceptions in practice every day. He's looking bad in practice, but nobody wants to put it out there because they want to keep his trade value up. Because I think all in all, they want to trade him some point of the season or before the season starts. So, I mean, me personally, I don't think it's one. I think Trey Lance should start day one. That's just me. So, But I could be
That's
wrong.
just because you want your bold prediction to be right.
That too, so.
But and you're a fan of the team, so
Yes. Yeah.
it's hard to say whether I think Jimmy G or Trey Lance gives the best chance because with Trey Lance, this is obviously going to be a learning curve. He barely played in college, and
That's true.
so it's going to take a while. But I don't know whether you improve your odds with Jimmy G. So I'm like, hey, might as well go with the potential guy and
Well,
let him learn. He got to cut
they
his
do
teeth
the
somewhere. So
they do
let's
the
go.
same thing. Well, my thing is this: if Jimmy can do the same, well, I'm sorry, if Trey Lance can do the same thing as Jimmy at this point of his career,
Yeah.
why go with Jimmy if they can do the same thing?
All right.
Doesn't make sense.
Only,
But okay.
only reason to go with Jimmy G, and like I said, don't want to spend too much time talking
Yeah.
49ers because nobody even likes the 49ers.
Yeah.
But the
Your
only
boy
reason
did.
you go with Jimmy G is you think he's going to play safe and not have a bunch of turnovers and stuff. I don't
That's
really
true.
think that's Trey Lance's problem.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. All right,
And
let's hit some more of these comments. Nita's talking about I think she means Jalen Hurts, the fight in his eyes with the Eagles. Jalen Hurts, I still can't decide. I'm not going with him for fantasy purposes, even though a lot of people are high on him. But I'm rooting for him to do well. I'll say that much.
me too. I don't know, man.
What?
I have mixed feelings about Jalen Hurts, man. It's because
He's from Alabama.
no. I just
Well,
think
halfway from Alabama.
halfway.
Yeah.
But he looked good at sometimes last year. The good thing he can run. He can run with the ball. He has his legs. But I think they saying he's looking good in practice though. I just don't. Me personally, I gotta see it first again.
Yeah.
Maybe that it's like
I've seen a lot of analysis and stats. Somebody comparing Jalen Hurts' stats to Lamar Jackson the year before Lamar Jackson went MVP and says, so I'm like, okay. So it makes for an interesting watch. It's not something I'm not putting my fantasy football team on this one. So
you don't risk it that much, but yeah. I do like her comment saying that she said not one of the sports talking heads are bringing up the lawyer, which they're not going to bring that up, honestly.
Yeah.
And at first I had a theory on this that theory might have went out the window, but that the owner, because they say the owner of the Texans lives literally down the street from the lawyer. And they kind of know each other. And all this stuff happened as he wanted to get traded. So you heard none of this before he wanted to get traded. Now you hear this after he asked to be traded. So they're not going to bring it up because you got to Google that stuff to find that out. Well, and because it's there.
The thing is, nobody really wants to touch this story until it's resolved because it's. Nobody wants to touch this story. I'll just leave it at that. And
that's true.
People try to stay his hands off with it, and so there you go.
Yeah.
I see Orlando Lewis comment. That's my mom, y'all. Power's out. Y'all having storms, I guess, in Virginia? No.
Get over here.
Something happened. Well, watching from the grocery store, so be safe out there.
Well, I hope you're all right, man. Be safe. Let us know.
That's dedication. So, all right. All right.
So
that's all the news stories I had.
That's all I got. So we're gonna play this game tonight.
We're going to the preseason stuff. Let's do
preseason stuff. Right. So we're gonna go. We're gonna grade these players. Obviously, we're talking quarterbacks, so we're gonna grade these quarterbacks, and let's give out a grade for them.
Okay.
So first, we're gonna start with Mac Jones. Mac Jones with 13 of 19, 87 yards. What did you like about the game? What did you like about?
He had
how he played
good start.
And what you didn't like?
Depending on how you do your stats, you might say he outplayed Cam Newton, and I think we said before Cam Newton needs to be looking over his shoulder because Mac Jones. It's gonna. I think another. I know you got your bold prediction on 4,000, but I think at some point, if the Patriots aren't winning, Mac Jones is gonna be put in that place. So I'm rooting with you for your bold prediction. Mac Jones, he looked decent. For a lot of these rookie quarterbacks, most of them, their games were just all right. It's hard to really say a lot of stuff about preseason
Yeah.
because, so many people were resting their starters this week. And that's typical, but I think people were probably resting even a little bit more since there's only
Three preseason games.
three preseason games, and you got to see who you're cutting. You're not cutting the starter guys. You know
Yeah, so
that going
obviously,
in,
yeah.
right? So
That makes sense.
so Mac Jones was okay. And so
Okay.
I give him okay. I can't even give him a grade, letter grade, other than satisfactory. Like
Okay.
he wasn't terrible. There you go.
Well, I will say this: he was okay.
Uh-huh.
He didn't make mistakes. Um, I guess if you throw in 19 passes, it would seem like you would have more than 87 yards. So that's my only thing.
13
But
for 19 isn't great. uh, uh,
yeah,
the percentage or the number of yards.
yeah. So
But
I mean, I would say he was okay, but he probably should have did better because he was playing against more of the second the second and
right.
third teams. So he should have did more.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, we he was all right. Do I think he's going to take Cam's job this year? According to my bold predictions, no. Um,
Uh,
but we seen what Bill Belichick did last year. When he
yeah,
felt Cam wasn't playing well, he snatched Cam out the game
he did.
and then said at the press conference, Cam is still the starting quarterback.
Yeah.
So that could be the same situation this year. But I would hope not, just because of the fact that I think Cam second year in the offense, I think he'll be better.
Yeah.
Um, so I would give him an okay. I think
Okay.
19 completions, 87 yards should have been more yards. The completion rate should have been better. So
Yeah.
yeah. Um,
Who you
next
got
one
next?
is we're gonna go Trey Lanks. Now, he went 5 for 14, 128 yards, a touchdown, 4 sacks. Um, how can I put this? He played okay.
Yeah.
Played okay. He took 4 sacks. One of them wasn't his fault. The other three was. O-line is horrible. The 128. If you take away the 80-yard bomb,
Yeah, that's the
yeah,
the
that's
flash
the thing.
that made it all look good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but he showed promise.
Yeah.
So I would say that. So he was okay. So yeah.
Yeah. I give him the same grade. Like, he looked like a guy making his first start in the NFL. He was shaky, but
Yeah.
solid. Like he had that one bomb that makes it look better, but
Oh yeah,
he
definitely.
didn't look bad. In fact, I
No.
would say I'm with you. I still would say he was probably better than Jimmy G.
You
And so
ain't lying about that.
that
So
so
yeah.
yeah,
I would say he was okay. I
he was
think
okay.
going into the second preseason game, he probably played a little bit longer.
Plus, they were playing
Um,
against those world champion Chiefs, so it's probably a little bit intimidated against
not really, but
seeing on the
okay.
other side of the field Patrick Mahomes there. Like that's the guy they're all
Actually,
comparing me to. I feel
actually, they weren't the World Series champ. They wasn't the champs. The
well
Bucks were the
more
champs.
recently, yeah.
Well,
Shaq's
I'm
still
just saying.
listening, so he's gonna object. He might
I'm
object to
I'm a,
that,
I'm a jet for you. Don't
but
even worry about it. Yeah, but I mean, he looked all right. I mean,
yeah,
he can look. He's still learning.
yeah,
He doesn't play the game in the whole season, so he got time.
yeah.
Um, Zach Wilson. Now, I was impressed with Zach Wilson. Um, Zach Wilson actually played better than I expected, according to the
Hmm.
rumors in practice saying that he was struggling and all this stuff. He was more. He came out and actually he played well. Stayed in the pocket. He threw some good passes. So
Yeah.
I think I would give him more than an okay. I was satisfied the way he played.
Okay.
What's your take?
6 of 9, 63 yards, blah. But he plays for the Jets, which is the point I realized. I'm happy with him just because he wasn't terrible. So for me, he had a very low bar to cross. When you play for the
Yeah,
Jets, I expect you to be bad. I expect everything to be bad. So
yeah,
I think he showed a solid start. I've seen Nita's comment that Cam has better weapons this year. That's for
that's
certain.
true. That's true.
And she said before he got COVID, he was on fire. Fire might be a strong word, but he looked better. I say that he looked better at the beginning. And she said it's not impressed with Mac Jones. I wouldn't be impressed with Mac Jones either. But
I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
Nah. So.
We'll see where it goes. Back to Zach Wilson. I'm impressed again just because he didn't stink up the field. He looked solid.
Solid.
Yeah. He has the rest of the season to stink because he does play for the Jets.
That is true.
Let's keep going. I'm ready for you to get to my dude, but we'll save him for last.
We'll save him for last. Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence
did not started off with a sack fumble.
Started off rough. 69, 71 yards.
Yeah.
You know what I think his problem is, though?
He plays for Urban Meyer.
Other
than that, what else?
Other than that, I think, and I watched the game. I kind of rewatched it on NFL Network.
Yeah.
Clock management wasn't on his side.
Yeah.
I think the clock management for him wasn't there. And I think he's not used to being under pressure like that. Because, when he was at Clemson, he never got touched.
Right.
So, under pressure and clock management is two things he's going to need to work on. But once he kind of got his foot in a little bit, he looked a little better as it went on. But I think working on those two items, I think he will be okay. I would give him he could play better type thing.
Yeah.
I feel like he's going to play a little bit longer in game 2.
Yeah. I think that was the biggest surprise for me. They didn't have him in that long. I was like, I didn't expect him to play like the entire game, but I thought he was going to be in long enough to, like you said, get his, because once he got settled in, caught his bearings, he looked better. I think because all these quarterbacks we're talking about right now are rookies, and so they're all going to struggle because they're rookies. And so I would think, like the Nets guy we're about to talk about, they would have given people extended time so they can sort of get familiar with the game. So I'm with you. I give Trevor Lawrence, he wasn't great. I think it was disappointing for his start because he's probably the quarterback that people have the highest hopes for, especially if you're a fantasy football player. Trevor Lawrence is going pretty early in some of these drafts as far as quarterbacks are concerned. And so there's high hopes for him. And that game probably didn't have you feeling a lot of hopes. But
not at all.
I wouldn't be too caught up in it. It's just the first game. Let's see how he progresses. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I think he's still going to get drafted.
Yeah.
Not high, but people gonna take a chance on him.
Yeah.
Just because he's the number 1 pick, they know he's going to play. I mean, so he's a starting quarterback.
Except for the open quarterback competition that's going on. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay. I don't understand that comment, but whatever. I mean, I think that's the most craziest thing I heard. But it is what it is. That's the coach being the coach.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna get to I guess the guy
Justin Fields, AA+.
He played awesome. And I don't care what nobody say, because he played against the second and third team, whatever. That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what everybody kept saying. He played against the second, third team. These guys are gonna be on the streets in a couple of weeks.
Blah blah.
It don't matter. He played well.
Awesome.
He showed that he can play in the NFL. He made some really good plays. He scrambled. He needs to start day 1, hands down. Matt Nagy, make your mind up, bro. Because your job is on the line. Because if you start 1-4 with Andy Dalton, then you're going to lose your job. And then when they bring him in, they start winning. You can say, man, I should have brought him in from week 1. I still be working somewhere. No.
Justin Fields ball is legit. He started off a little bit, much like, again, it took him a while to warm up. But that second half, once he got in there for it, he was looking really, really good. 142 yards, 1 touchdown passing, and 1 rushing, 33 yards on the ground. What did this guy over here say last week? Justin Fields starts, and it just enhances the offense. Yeah, David Montgomery's name is coming out of this again.
Oh,
got a little bit limpy on the one play he was in, but I'm not too worried about it. Justin Fields is the truth. And so I think of all the rookies, he's the one I was the most impressed with. And they gave him time to work things out. So yay, Matt Nagy for doing at least one thing right.
I will say this: David Montgomery will be a better back with Justin
Yeah,
Fields in the game because Justin Fields is gonna draw that spy linebacker because he can run. That's gonna open up so much for the wide receivers. Allen Robinson.
exactly.
I mean, Allen Robinson loves us already. If you listen to the comment, excuse me. If you listen to the comments from Allen Robinson,
Yeah,
Allen Robinson want him to start day one anyway. If that's coming from your best receiver, your all-pro receiver, you gotta listen to your people. I mean, come on now. Don't be crazy. You know, your people are telling you that he needs to start. So go from
your
there.
eyes should be telling you he needs
That's
to
true.
start. So, yo, that's the one guy I've been waiting to talk about because Justin Fields was awesome. I see Nita, he played well. It's just me. I feel Trevor Lawrence would be a bust this year because of too high expectations. I don't know if I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be a bust. Uh, I think the Jaguars are going to be a bust, and I think I've been pretty consistent about saying that. And so by default, I guess you're probably going to see Trevor Lawrence not meet so many people's expectations, but that team is Urban Meyer's not an NFL coach. There you go.
Not even. No.
So if I'm going to go with a quarterback that I think will be the best of this rookie class in their first year, as long as Matt Nagy stops being stupid, Justin Fields is he's set up to do very well with that team. Trevor Lawrence, I think, has the talent. I love Trevor Lawrence in Clemson as a college, but I do not like the situation he landed in with Jackson. And the crazy part is Jacksonville has talent everywhere on that roster. I think they're gonna squander it.
So do you think he play? Do you think his play reminds you of Joe Burrow from last year, where he's gonna struggle as far as O-line play, getting sacked, things of that nature, because he got talent. He's got
talent all around him, but yeah, I think that's going to be a problem. I think just the fact of, like you were saying before, it's going to be a very different situation because the Jaguars, though they have a lot of skill player talent, other parts of the team aren't going to be as good, and you're only as good as your head coach allows you to be, and
that's true.
I just think he's going to mess that whole thing up.
I think he is too. So, I mean, also I want to add in Naji Harris on this list. I think Naji Harris, through the first 2 preseason games, I think he can be that number 1 back. And I'm saying,
what did he rush for? Like 10 yards last week?
Don't worry about it. He played like 2 snaps.
I am impressed. Naji Harris all the way.
Well, the first game he played more than that, so he played 1 snap. So I think they're getting him ready to. He's gonna do work. I'm telling you, 300 carries, easy.
Look, I'm just gonna be the show's Naji Harris hater, even though I love Naji Harris. So, but hey, what LeBron says, if I gotta play the villain, I'm gonna be the villain. All right, I love Naji Harris. Don't get me wrong, people, but okay, y'all have some high expectations for a team. What are the stats I gave y'all last time? 31, 29, 32. That is not my locker combination. That is how the Pittsburgh Steelers have ranked the last 3 years in rushing.
I'm just saying.
Go ahead, Naji Harris.
Okay.
I got a comment on Facebook. My cousin, who's a big Steelers fan, said Naji Harris is gonna make me eat my words.
Okay. He is.
Hey, if he does, great. I'm rooting for him. I told y'all, Naji Harris is gonna still be really good. Top 15 running backs, but a lot of it's gonna come from receiving, not so much from rushing.
That humble pie gonna be so good.
Hey,
I'm telling you.
Hey, I eat it.
That humble pie gonna be so good. Lord,
hey, I shall not back down until he crosses the 1,000-yard threshold.
Okay.
And 1,063 if you're gonna hold me to exactly what I said.
Okay. So, I'm gonna call you out on it. Don't worry about it. I'm definitely.
I intend to be called out from everywhere, and I'm all
gonna
right.
Call you out. Don't you worry now. I'm definitely gonna call you
Naji
out.
Harris had 10 yards. He looked really good.
I mean, he's going to be good this year. He's going to be one of those
Yeah, he's
standout
going to be
rookies.
good. There's no question about that. He's going to be
I
really
think
good.
like
Just because of volume, he's going to be really good. Yeah.
he's going to definitely get value.
Yeah.
Another one is Jamar Chase. I think Jamar Chase is going to be good this year. He's going to be he's going to end up the number one
I
out
don't think
there
so.
when it's all said and done. I like Jamar Chase.
I like
So
Jamar Chase. I'm not convinced he's going to be the number one. I think it's going to be too hard to tell who's number one there. And I'm still putting my money on T. Higgins.
I mean, I like T. Higgins,
Yeah.
but Jamar Chase, I think he got a better rapport with Joe Burrow just from
Because they
college
play
days.
together. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think at the end of the day he gonna take that number one job, and I think he gonna be good this year, honestly. So that's just me. But I want to play another game. Stock up,
Stock up, stock down. I'm ready for this one too.
Um,
By the way, we didn't do this for rookie quarterbacks because they're rookies, but stock up on Justin Fields because, yeah.
okay, all right.
Hey,
Um,
I'm gonna ring that bell.
we're gonna
All right,
talk
who's
stock
your
up
stock
first.
up and stock down? Let's go.
My first guy for stock up is Drew Lock.
Stole my guy. Tell me about him.
And without he's rising to the occasion as far as the quarterback competition going on in Denver, even though I don't see Teddy Bridgewater beating him out, they should let him start. So therefore, he did well. His stock is up for me going into the drafts because people are drafting now. So, but we got a couple of drafts this week. We're gonna be draft heavy going into the weekend. So the stock is really going up on Drew Lock. So
Like I said, that was the first one I wrote down. We was talking rookie quarterbacks. I know he's not a rookie, but when I saw him, I was like, now that is who Drew Lock needs to be for the rest of this year. And so if he could just do that, Denver might make some noise because Denver's defense is already phenomenal. And I know you want to talk a little bit about defense on Denver in a second. So
yes, I do.
I won't step on your toes. But Drew Lock, I'm with you 100%. My first stock up guy, and it's hard for me to say how much up it is. Is Randre Stevenson, who's a rookie running back. Now here he had 127 rushing yards, which you would think would have me saying get on board. However, he is a rookie running back for the New England Patriots. And I think I'm notorious for saying don't trust anybody who's a running back for the Patriots. I like Damian Harris a little bit this year, but only as much as I can like a running back for New England. But I think Rhamondre is at least somebody you should keep on your radar. I still don't draft him, but I watch him, and I say maybe on waiver wires because the reason I say don't trust Bill Belichick is he falls out of love with running backs like that. And so if Damian Harris messes up, then you might look and say, hey, Rhamondre, come on board and let's see what we do. But stock up for him just because he had no stock going into this game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My next stock up is Jameis Winston. Now, how can I put it? He didn't completely outplay Taysom Hill, but I think he looked better for the offense.
I give you that.
He's a better fit for what they're trying to do. I think Kamara benefits him. Michael Thomas benefits him when he comes back because they don't have any real options as playmakers.
Right.
I think Taysom Hill takes away from that a little bit. So I think Jameis actually went out and played a little bit better. He didn't blow the doors off, but he did play better.
Hey, he threw the touchdown, and they both threw interceptions. I think the biggest thing about that game was they had 6 turnovers total for the team. And so Sean Payton was like, I don't want to talk Jameis or Taysom Hill this week. We got to address these turnovers that the team struggled with. I think I'm a little bit higher on Taysom Hill than you are, but Jameis Winston is my guy to lead the team. But I think if they have Taysom Hill, I don't know why you would do that, but I think he's not. I think Taysom Hill would be good. If he's the starter, I think he is still draftable and pretty highly draftable. But I don't right now. I don't like that whole situation. Oh, we got my father's on board now. He's gonna apparently be using his information. He's in both of the drafts with us this Saturday. And so,
Yes.
yeah, I know he's taking notes on how to beat us. It's
Don't
hard.
fare
It's
well
harder
from
to do than it sounds.
it.
I told people I can give y'all my draft playbook. I'm still
It
gonna
don't,
come out on top because
it don't matter. I'm trying to tell you. He really does know that it's hard to beat us. So it's okay. It's okay.
I'm gonna go with a stock down since I started off with a stock up.
Okay.
Because I don't have a lot of downs. I have a big stock down on Miles Gaskins. I think I'm on record.
Hey, he stole
As
mine,
hey, you
man.
stole mine start first,
He
but
stole
you
mine.
still got some room of yours because I think you want to go a bit further with this than I do.
Okay.
But I'm on record of saying Miles Gaskin is going to get volume. He has no competition at running back. He's one of those sneaky high running back guys that you can get late because people are sleeping on him. Apparently, I was the one who was asleep
Yeah, you
because
must have been.
yeah, Miles Gaskin, I'm worried about him. I don't think he's gonna have that high volume like I thought. Malcolm Brown and Ahmed had some pretty good work in that first game. It's a preseason, but I am not as high on Miles Gaskins as I thought I was before the game started.
You shouldn't be
Yeah,
because I'm gonna stick with that, and I'm gonna
yeah,
come back to my stock up. But my stock down is all of the running backs in Miami
yeah.
should be a stock down because word out of camp is from the coach himself is that they're going to a running back by committee.
Committee, that's committee all over it,
That is
right?
probably the worst thing you can do for anybody in fantasy as far as drafting.
Right.
If I was anybody, you don't touch Miami's backfield at all.
Mm-mm.
Period. Point play. You don't do it. Gaston sounds good, but at the end of the day, I ain't trusting it.
Yeah,
I ain't trusting it. I ain't doing it. I'm not going to invest to picking somebody that I know is going to share the load with two other people.
yeah,
It doesn't make sense for me to do that now. So I'm staying away from them. I ain't doing it. And my one of my stock ups is James Robinson. James
okay,
Robinson, we was just talking about the talent that Jacksonville has. He's one of the talented players that they have, and they say he's taking all of the first team snaps, which you could replace him as far as Gaskins can be replaced by James Robinson if you want to
yeah,
go that route or draft somebody. So James Robinson could be somebody you actually could pick up. I mean, running backs go heavy in most leagues,
yeah,
so you probably can get James Robinson. I ain't saying early, but probably third, fourth round. I mean, because it depends on your league how running backs go, because
yeah.
generally running backs are always going quick in most leagues. So it depends, but I got a couple stock ups and stock downs, but I'm gonna let you go. Go
Can
ahead.
I? About to say, hey, let me get back in here. And my stock up and prepare to be surprised. I didn't tell you this one before the show because I just wanted
I
to
know.
see what you think about this one. I talk bad about Urban Meyer. I talk so about Trevor Lawrence. I'm going stock up on Marvin Jones
Why?
because did you watch the game?
I
Hey,
did.
DJ Chark and Laviska, you know I love me some Laviska Chenault, but they're the guys that got the attention. Marvin Jones looked really good, and he seemed to already have a really good connection with Trevor Lawrence. And so he was doing the interview talking. He likes working with all these young guys because it helps him feel young, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm watching Marvin Jones and I'm saying, that could be a sneaky pick. You could get in there and maybe do some work. Because
I will.
I'm not big on Jacksonville, but I think just by default, Trevor Lawrence is gonna throw maybe not quite 4,000, but he's gonna be in the ballpark
In
of
the
four
ballpark,
thousand
yeah.
yards. And who's gonna get those yards? I think Marvin Jones could get quite a bit of that.
So do
I'm
you
not saying
feel
he's gonna
like
be your every week starter, but I think he could be one of those bench guys or bye week filling guys that you say, "Hey, I'm glad I drafted Marvin Jones."
what do you feel like? Because I watched a little bit of highlights. It looked like he was the favorite target
Yeah, he
of
was.
Marvin. So I mean, we can see it. It sounds great. It's
Yeah,
not too bad. We'll see. But nothing wrong with that. But okay,
yeah.
you got another one. So
No,
since
no.
it's up,
Hey, I'm all about taking turns. I learned that in
okay.
kindergarten, so I did one. Go for yours.
My stock down is Taysom Hill. I am not a big believer in Taysom Hill. Everything I just said, I'm gonna repeat. He doesn't, do it for me.
No.
He's a gadget quarterback. Well, he's a gadget player who needs to stick in that role as far as because they don't, like I say, they don't have the talent like they did before. So he needed in other places, if you want to say that. But that's my take. I'm not high on Taysom Hill, and I could be wrong. And I eat crow at the end of the day. But right now, I'm sticking with what I'm saying. And
Not
I'm
mad.
leaving it
Not mad. I got another stock up for you, and
at.
this
Okay.
one took me completely by surprise. Um, Pick your backup quarterback for the Colts. I liked them. And I thought this team was in trouble with well, they were in trouble with Carson Wentz anyway, because Carson Wentz gets hurt all the time, right? But I was like, they're gonna be in super trouble if he has to miss an extended amount of time. But Jacob Eason and Sam Ellinger, they both look pretty good. To For a guy who had like zero expectations and thought they were gonna stink at the good. One of the good things is they have a really good offensive line in Indianapolis. And so if you have a good offensive line, you're gonna buy your quarterback some time. And if a quarterback has time, they shouldn't stink too bad. But I would say I was still impressed by both of these guys. And the rookie, Ellinger, he actually had a little bit of running. I think he led the team in rushing. So, hey, I'm going to go 2 thumbs up for the quarterback backups in Indianapolis. If Carson Wentz has to miss a lot of time because he's Carson Wentz, I think y'all might be all right. So,
Well,
yeah.
I'm gonna say this. Everybody's side note: he doesn't like Carson
I
Wentz.
do not like Carson Wentz.
So I'm just gonna put that out there. Carson Wentz has burned him numerous of times in fantasy. So he has a bad taste in
Actually,
his mouth
Carson
about
Wentz had to
Carson.
burn me numerous times. He's only burnt me that once, but that's all it took.
That's all it took.
Because I was
Okay,
never a big fan of Carson Wentz going
in the
in for
beginning.
like years. And the 1 year I decided to draft him, I said I'm for some reason really sold on Carson Wentz being good this year. I had like
Okay,
no expectations all the way up to like super expectations, and then
okay.
he just proved me right. The other years, I was like, nope, I should have never believed. So now I
All
can
right.
never go back to believing again. So that's my Carson Wentz hate relationship.
I
So
just want to put it out there.
yeah,
I mean, because I know how you feel
I
about
don't
that.
deny
So,
it. It's true.
all right. I mean, and I got to stock up, and I love this stock up. If you play in defensive leagues where cornerbacks are drafted, Patrick Surtain,
Yeah,
remember this name. He's a rookie, but he is gonna be shut down corner in this league. I'm
yeah.
trying to tell you. So, and I think him and Denver's defense as a whole is really good. So I think at the end of the day, I think they're gonna be good. I like Patrick Surtain. Patrick Surtain is gonna be. He had a pick six in his first
Yeah,
game as a rookie, so he looks impressive. I
I'm not
mean,
mad at him.
I think they're gonna shy away from throwing to him personally, and I think with Von Miller and Chubb and all those guys out there, he definitely gonna be good. So I'm good with that.
Here's the question for you. We didn't talk defensive players when we went through our tiers and our rankings because I think both of our philosophy is you just find a defensive guy and fill him
Yeah.
in here and there. Is Surtain a draftable defensive player for you based off that 1 week?
Um, it depends
Okay.
because I play in a couple leagues. We play at leagues with defensive players.
Yeah.
Um, Cornerbacks don't get a lot of points.
They're very much dependent on getting interceptions, right?
Yeah, interceptions, tackles, and
Cornerbacks
I'm
don't
not.
tackle.
I mean, they don't.
Sometimes.
But
When they have to, right.
if he's going to be a great corner, they're probably not going to throw his way.
Yeah.
So he's not draftable as a player, but I think Denver's defense is
Yeah.
draftable as a team defense.
Definitely.
Now, it's only, and like you say, we didn't talk defense or defensive players when we did our top whatever. But the thing about it is, it's only a number of defenses that you can really, I think you can that you can ride with for the whole season.
Yeah.
It's not many.
There's very few.
I think it's about 5 at best, and that's Washington, Denver, San Francisco, Baltimore, just to name a few. I mean, Denver's one of them. So I like the defense as a whole. Now, me generally, I draft linebackers
Mm-hmm.
for defense positions because of tackles. They get you, if you can get 10 tackles, you get 10 points.
Right.
So that's the way I look at things. But I feel like defensive players, defenses, and kickers are interchangeable every week,
Exactly.
unless you find like a top tier linebacker that you just want to roll with every week. But those guys are interchangeable for me personally.
Yeah.
So that's my personal thing about it. So yeah.
Yeah, and just to add to what you said, I have the same kind of thing. Linebackers and then safeties are my two defense players. Unless you're in the league, I was talking to a guy. This was actually last season, where they actually draft like 11 defensive players. They draft like a full defense,
I would
talking
have
like
stopped playing
defensive
it there.
end, linebackers.
I would have stopped playing in there.
So
They couldn't have got me.
I
I'm
was
just
like,
saying.
I don't think I can name 11 defensive players.
I don't understand it. Where they find it. It's like who comes up with that theory of
Yeah,
drafting the whole defense? I get it. You want to pay respect
yeah,
to that's like saying we're gonna draft fullbacks. You're not drafting a fullback because it's probably only 2 fullbacks in the whole entire NFL right now. So no,
so yeah.
a whole defense is not happening. I'm sorry, I can't do it.
I talked last week about Sam Darnold, and I said Sam
Yes.
Darnold is going to have a breakout year. My stock up guy is Terrace Marshall Jr. I love DJ Moore. You love Robbie Anderson. They're both
Better
really
believe
good. If you got a third guy in that offense who's gonna put up some good receiving numbers, I think it's Terrence Marshall Jr. He had 88 yards. It's preseason again. This isn't a guy I'm recommending you go out and draft, but it's a guy I'm recommending you keep your eye on because if Sam Darnold's gonna have the explosive year that I'm calling for, the love has to get spread out, and so you might be able to fill in a week or two with Marshall Jr. But
Well,
he had zero
he's
stock going in, so he's a stock up guy for me because I'm thinking, hey, it's somebody I might want to watch. And that's the great thing about preseason. You see guys that you may not have been thinking about before, and you say, okay, if something happens and I see a guy make some moves during the week, I said, I've heard of him before. Oh, he's the guy who had that good preseason game. Throw him in, see what happens.
well, it's probably gonna be the fourth in the pecking order
I
because
mean, because it's
CMC gonna catch
CMC,
him.
of course,
Yeah,
yeah.
you be catching out the backfield.
Yeah.
So, but I get it. I mean, I can see that. It's possible he could get those numbers. It's just because
Yeah.
Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore, those two receivers are just
That's solid
they gonna get a
numbers.
lion's
Right.
share of the catches
Yeah.
anyway. So, I mean, you just got him. He may could be like a guy you can kind of keep your eye on.
Just watch. Just
And
watch.
just watch. There's a couple guys you honestly can keep your eye on.
Yeah.
Um, but it's just you gotta do it. You gotta kind of do it without nobody actually noticing. So, because somebody, I mean,
Right.
it's been guys in fantasy that, you know, the one problem I always had,
But
if I see a guy do work the first like a week, I'd be like, man, I'm gonna wait till he do it for the second week, see what he do. And then he do it for the second week. Nah, man, I'm gonna wait for the third week, man, because he might he might not do it for the third week, and then somebody
I
goes scoop
keep
him
doubting,
up.
like, is it real? I'm not gonna
Is it
do
real?
it. You're right.
So you gotta for that you gotta be like, you know what? Don't jump on him if he do something the first week because
Yeah.
that might be like a one hit wonder as far as for that one week he might have did it. But if he do it for the second week, you better be there to pick him up. That's one of the things I'd have missed out on a lot of good players saying, man, he might do it again next week. I'm gonna pick him up then. No, you better get him now. So that's how I feel about stuff like that. So we'll see though.
Keep them on your
Definitely.
radar.
The thing with it is just keep certain with this stock up, stock down, certain players to stock up, just keep them on your radar. Obviously the Jameis Winston, the Drew Locks, those guys are gonna be gone probably. The James Robinsons and stuff like that. But just keep your eye on certain players. And at the end of the day, you might get them because you pay more attention than the next guy. So just go
Yeah.
there. I mean, you might be all right. So we'll see. That's all you got tonight?
That was all of mine.
That's all I got. Well, we appreciate y'all joining us again. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Follow us. Instagram.
If there's some stock up or down guys that you saw in the preseason that we missed, feel free to let us know in the comments. Hit us up, like you said, on all our social media and say, hey, you missed out on this guy. He's going to be a bomb, whatever position he is. We love to hear from you.
And you know my good old saying, we here, we ain't going nowhere. You better enjoy us because we here to stay.
All right. So, hey, we'll be back doing this again. We'll look at some of these season 2 games and give you guys some of the breakdowns. So, see y'all guys then.
All right. See y'all later.
All right. Peace out.